Hey guys, I wanted to share that I just had an amazing conversation with Marie Pereira. She's an immigration advocate, an attorney, a televised legal analyst, and has started an organization called the Immigration Project. I learned so much about border protection program, what resources are available to immigrants once they come here, about the USCIS program and changes that have been happening recently. If you haven't heard about it in the news, but you are interested, please watch, please share. I hope you enjoy as much as I do. If I could say something about why, is because I've always believed we are a product of our circumstance, but that does not mean that you don't deserve to have an opportunity at a change in life. So I hope you enjoy a conversation with Marie Pereira. Well, first, Marie, I want to thank you so much for being here and speaking with me today. I think education's so important. Thank you so much for taking your time. And I first, want to give you an opportunity to introduce yourself and your history with Haiti and your current role as an immigration advocate.
My history with Haiti goes a long way, and I want to say thank you for having me. Thank you for initiating the outreach and asking me to take part in this Zoom. I appreciate you. I was born in Haiti to two Haitian parents, Ernest and Paulette Pereira, and we migrated here in 1970.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, my mom, my dad, and three siblings.
Oh, wow.
And I've lived here ever since. So I'm real Haitian, as they say. We say you haitienne.
Yes. I'm hoping to learn more about what drives your advocacy.
What drives my advocacy is the fact that I am a child of two Haitian parents and I was born in Haiti. And but for the grace of God, we made it up here legally. That could be my family and I. And I still have family in Haiti. And I embraced the experience. And when I saw everything that was going on under the Del Rios Bridge, images of Border Patrol, police, whipping people, they say they were just redirecting and exercising their rights as Border Patrol officers. But it seemed to me like it was an inhumane way to treat an adult and a human being. And it touched me. A year later, I opened the Haiti Immigration Project.
Yes, which is exactly how I found you. I want to ask you a few questions today as someone who is currently going through learning how to bring over family members from Haiti. Um, I wonder if you can share a brief history of the Biden humanitarian program. It is a program that is open to Venezuelans, Nicaraguans, Cubans, and Haiti, I believe, are the countries that are priority right now. But when did it start? Why did the program begin as it pertains to Haiti and Haitians?
I'll add Ukraine, and as far as it pertains to the Haitians, they added Haiti to the list of countries who would be allowed to participate in this program, I think January 6th of this year. The situation in Haiti was so unstable with the gang violence, the lack of stability, kidnappings, food insecurity, poverty, and just an overall devastating situation in that country. They also allowed them access to the humanitarian program of entry. And the premise of the program is that a lot of people were showing up at the border and asking for asylum. And what they wanted to do is curtail that by giving an opportunity to a certain group of people who actually have people living in the United States who have legal status to send for them. Whoever lives in Haiti and or somewhere else but still retains Haitian citizenship, if you have somebody in the United States who has legal status, can have that person apply for you and sponsor you to come to the US by filling out a form called the I-134A online. And eventually, these people are given travel authorization to travel here legally on a plane to come here and live for 2 years.
That's the program that I, personally have applied for beneficiaries under. Haiti is under crisis, which, I thank you for pointing that out. And something that you taught me recently is that there's also another program. Can you help me differentiate? Because I'm still learning between an immigrant entering in the US under the humanitarian program, I-134A, and
Mhm.
entering at the border under the Customs and Border Protection Program.
The humanitarian program is a program that is working with people who are here, sending individually for people they know. The CBP program is for Haitian nationals and other nationals also to use their smartphones to go on the CBP app and make an appointment to show up at any border and say, I want to apply for asylum. I made an appointment. They go through a preliminary credible fear interview, very brief, by Border Patrol personnel, and they determine whether or not they have a preliminary credible fear, and they let them in for the purposes of applying for asylum. They give them paperwork, typically an I-94, which says the date they allow them to enter and the date that it expires. And during that frame of time, they have the ability to be physically in the United States and apply for asylum.
Okay.
But they have to make an appointment on the CBP app. And the reason why this was created is because a lot of people, not just Haitians, were showing up at the border and asking for asylum. And some of them qualified and some of them did not. And with the COVID pandemic, starting around 2020, they shut that down. You could not show up at the border anymore and ask for asylum because there was a pandemic and the US was not allowing people to randomly enter, not even asylum seekers. So they used a CDC law, Title 42, which basically says in times of crisis and pandemic, our country does not have to abide by international laws governing asylum temporarily because it would be dangerous to Americans in America to let people randomly come in. Was justified under Title 42 to put a halt on asylum seekers showing up at the border, and not just Haitians, all asylum seekers.
How many people were affected by that?
To the tune of about 2.8 million people were turned away. So now, after COVID got under control, we're still fearful of COVID, but
Right.
it's certainly under control. Title 42 was lifted, and they knew it was going to be lifted. The government knew this. So they tried to do something to avoid the anticipated influx of previously denied people who were going to, as they say in the streets, bum rush the border. So they thought. So to avoid the bum rush, right?
Mhm.
They said, okay, we're going to set up an app where they can actually come in an organized manner and make appointments.
Right.
They say it's a humane way to screen asylum seekers would be. And
It
then
gives structure. It is. Yeah.
it is good, but it has drawbacks, Sasha, because at the end of the day, it has to be done through a phone on an app. So it's assuming that everybody has access to a phone with Wi-Fi and internet.
Which is not true. Which is
No.
not true. So it is
Yeah.
limiting. It is very limiting. Do you know if there's a cap to CBP applications? Right now, I know I-134A, it's 30,000 beneficiaries will be approved per month.
Right. There is no cap that I know of on the CBP program, but you do have to make that appointment. And the site frequently crashes. And like I said, it's hard to get on the app. Most people don't know how to manage the smartphones and getting online. People like me who are literally like Wilma Flintstone of 2023.
I think you're doing very well.
It's very difficult, okay? And some people, they're homeless, in the country where they live and they're seeking asylum. So it's not so easy. So there's no cap, but there are limitations. And they say that now that they started the CBP program, right? If you don't abide by that mode of entry, making the appointment in an orderly fashion and showing up on your scheduled date and time, they turn you away. And they say for the next 5 years, because you showed up without an invite to this asylum, would-be asylum applications process party, you cannot come again for 5 years. So they punish you
Wow.
for not coming with an appointment. There are some exceptions where, you know, you can explain, I don't have a phone, I'm homeless, I couldn't get on the app, excuse me for coming, I tried, but I couldn't. But it's at the discretion of the Border Patrol people to determine who are they going to forgive for not coming in that orderly CBP fashion, and who are they going to let in. It's a lot of Border Patrol officer discretion that is sometimes abused against the would-be asylum seeker. So it's up to the individual states.
Wow. And you know, this is bringing me to just a grander state of why immigration reform is so important, and that's something, you know, I want to delve further into in my own education. But now in the I-134A selection process, right now there's 1.5 million beneficiaries pending review. There's a change in how the USCIS is reviewing these applications. Can you help shed light on what those changes are?
There are so many applications and not enough people internally working for USCIS to process the applications, to vet them for accuracy, because at the end of the day, there are papers that need to be verified. The sponsors are giving letters saying from their jobs on letterhead. They're giving letters from the bank stating, you know, who they bank with. They're giving transcripts from the IRS. So it's overwhelming the people at USCIS. So now it's a lottery. For over 50% of them, it's if we get to you, and if we don't know. A time frame, yes, it's a problem.
Yeah, there is no official time frame, and it's one of the only applications on the USCIS website that doesn't state here's the processing time. And that, I think, has, you know, prohibited a lot of people from even applying. I've applied in that route as of January 27th, and I'm one of those people who hasn't heard back yet. Now that, as you say, we hear that half of the applications will be on a lottery basis and the other half will go back to the first in, first out. So it can feel exactly as you said, overwhelming. But, you know, from your point of view, do you still find that it's important for sponsors to apply for beneficiaries under the I-134A?
I think it is still important, because look at what you're getting out of it. Usually people apply for people who they know and care about and love, not necessarily by blood, but by relation and by blood as well. So it is a source of family unification that exists, which did not exist before, because there were so many people waiting on visa basis where it could take decades based on the familial relationships, that this is a quick way for you to bring your family here. And once they're here, they can figure out a way to adjust themselves legally. And if they have something going that's on a long visa wait category, they can wait here until that adjustment takes place.
Oh, yes. See, I'm learning something new just by speaking with you, and that is so important. It's learning all the ways and all the processes. There are resources available for immigrants coming in under two different programs once they arrive in the US. Can you share some more of the resources that they should be prepared to apply for once immigrants arrive here?
At first glance, when a person is applying for the I-134 sponsorship program, it does have an admonishment within the application itself that you're saying you take full financial responsibility for this person. So if the beneficiary comes and they apply for any type of assistance, you can be held liable if that person becomes a public charge. Meaning if you cost the US money by your beneficiary being present here, they would basically come after you to recoup. There's a possibility that they would do that. But since the application launched as it pertains to Haitians and Cubans, right, there was a change to the policy, and it was updated to say that these people coming under the I-134A program, there are certain benefits that the US government will offer them without putting at risk the sponsor and without making that person be deemed a public charge. The people who are coming in as beneficiaries, they can now go to the Department of Social Services in their area, produce their paperwork to show that they are humanitarian parolees with the travel authorization and their I-94s, which say what time frame they're allowed to be here, under what category of admission, and they can get what's called SNAP, Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. They can get a temporary cash assistance program until they get a job. And then they can also get medical coverage through healthcare providers in their area. And all that help is provided without triggering, oh, you created a public charge for us in terms of, the sponsor. A lot of sponsors still are very leery about taking the beneficiaries for this type of assistance from social services in their area, because there is, to be frank, an ambiguity between the language in the I-134, which you read, and the updated policies, which are basically saying the opposite: come get help.
There's a huge discrepancy.
There is, but like anything else, immigration, I want to say, is always like a fluid thing, okay? And I think it bears on the responsibility of the sponsor to do their research, follow through, and bring the people to get the help, because I think it's something necessary. And I, for one, I'm happy that they're providing the help to these beneficiaries without holding the sponsors economically responsible for that tab.
As am I 100% happy about this program. And even with its limitations, it's a way. It gives hope. It gives just a chance. Marie, I want to thank you so much for this education, this conversation, and you yourself, I know, help people with their work authorizations once they're here. And, in the same way that I found you and found ways to educate myself about these programs and opportunities, where can people come find you and learn for themselves? And also, if you do offer work authorization services, where can they find you?
Haiti Immigration Project, we are based in New York. So for now, we're limited to helping people who reside in New York. Go on my website for the Haiti Immigration Project. It's HIP for short. And it's www.hip.support, SUPPORT. And it's in Creole and English. And you go on under the Request Services tab. You could hit me up on WhatsApp, because a lot of Haitian people use WhatsApp.
They do.
I try to return the calls as best as I can. 917-741-2012. And I contact you and I invite you to come to the headquarters, which I will say is my dining room. I prefer to meet with the person because I like to teach the applicants how to do the form. And I like that human element and that contact. Eventually, I'm going to focus on getting funding, but right now we have zero funding. I paid to set up
the kindness of your heart. Yes.
When a person leaves here, you leave here with a complete set of I-765, which is the work authorization. If you qualify for a fee waiver, I do that for you too, and they don't have to pay $410 that immigration charges to apply for the work authorization. And one thing that I forgot, if a person, nobody ever has to pay for services. Yep. They just make the appointment, come here, and leave with their package of empowerment. Because let me tell you something, a Haitian person with a work authorization is a force to be reckoned with.
Yes.
That's right.
My parents, yours, I'm sure. And this is exactly why, I wanted to have this conversation is to also disseminate some of the views about immigrants because, listen, we're here to work. We're here to
We're
work.
gonna work. We're gonna work. And for the most part, we're law-abiding citizens. We just basically, you know, mind our business, stay hydrated, and stay employed. That's what we want.
Stay hydrated.
Stay hydrated, keep our skin from being ashy, and work.
That's the motto of the year.
That's it.
I wish
Thank
I
you
was in
very
New
much.
York. When I am, I'm gonna come find you.
What I say is at Haiti Immigration Project, nous aidons moun yo aider tête yo. We help them to help themselves. Please go on the website www.hip.support and donate what you can, even if it's $10, okay?
I'm going to link to it in my bio as well. For those who are watching, you'll find the link both on this video and in my bio when this is posted.
Because right now it's just New York in my dining room at my house with me manning about 3,000 calls a month that I can't get into everybody. I can't do it. I need help. Help me to help people. Donate, please, y'all.
And there's so many people who need the help,
Yes.
but it's important to support organizations that really want to give back to those who need it, who are, you know, suffering right now and who are looking for ways to just get a head start, get a good start, get a solid ground and footing when they come here. So
for sure.
Y'all heard it here. Please go to hip.support and to Marie's Instagram. I hope that you all have enjoyed learning in the same way that I have. And thank you for watching. Please share, comment, talk about it. And let's just keep on helping people.
Thank you.
Bless you, Marie. Bless you.